The haunting interrogation room. Detective Emily had always considered herself a rational person, but nothing could have prepared her for what she encountered in the dimly lit interrogation room. It was the case of a lifetime, a string of brutal murders that had left the town in a state of terror. The prime suspect, a disheveled man with eyes that seemed to pierce into her soul, had been found near the latest crime scene, muttering incomprehensibly about dark rituals and malevolent entities. As Emily entered the room, an oppressive atmosphere weighed heavily upon her. Unseen eyes seemed to follow her every move, and the air grew cold as ice. The suspect's gaze locked onto hers, and his lips curled into a sinister grin. Suddenly, the room plunged into absolute darkness, and Emily felt an invisible presence close around her throat. She struggled to breathe, but the grip tightened mercilessly. In the pitch black void, she heard the maniacal laughter of the suspect echoing all around her, growing louder and more deranged with each passing moment. Panic consumed her as she fought desperately to break free from the unseen stranglehold. Just as she was on the brink of losing consciousness, the lights flickered back on, and the suspect had vanished. Emily was left trembling and haunted by the malevolent presence that had nearly claimed her. Days turned into weeks as Emily delved deeper into the case, determined to unravel the mystery surrounding the suspect and the cursed interrogation room. What she discovered would send shivers down her spine. A history of dark rituals and malevolent spirits tied to the very room she had entered. As the investigation continued, Emily realized that the horrors she had experienced were merely the tip of the iceberg, and the malevolent forces at play were far more sinister than she could have ever imagined. One sleepless night, Emily returned to the interrogation room, armed with ancient texts and symbols, hoping to banish the malevolent spirit that lurked within. The room seemed to come alive, the walls groaning and shifting as though they harbored a terrible secret. Emily chanted incantations, but the darkness only deepened, and the sinister laughter grew louder. Then, as if in response to her efforts, the room erupted in chaos. Furniture levitated, and ethereal voices filled the air, mocking and tormenting her. Emily felt herself being pulled into an abyss of darkness, her sanity slipping away. Just when all hope seemed lost, a blinding light pierced the room, dispelling the darkness and banishing the malevolent spirit. Emily emerged from the room, her body battered and her mind scarred, but she had triumphed over the supernatural evil that had plagued her. The cursed interrogation room was sealed off, a grim reminder of the horror she had faced. The Phantom Patrol Car. Officer James had scoffed at the tales of the Phantom Patrol Car that haunted the outskirts of the town, dismissing them as mere ghost stories. However, on a night shrouded in darkness and fog, he would confront the unimaginable. As he patrolled the deserted streets, an oppressive mist enveloped the town, obscuring his vision. In the distance, James spotted flickering headlights belonging to an ancient patrol car. A chill ran down his spine as he reached for the radio, only to be met with a deafening silence. The spectral vehicle drew nearer, its form wavering like a phantom. Suddenly, it vanished into thin air, leaving James in a suffocating silence, surrounded by a malevolent presence. Terror-stricken, James began to investigate the history of the Phantom Patrol Car. What he uncovered was a nightmarish tale of an officer who had met a gruesome, unexplained demise, rumored to have been involved in occult practices. It was said that his vengeful spirit still prowled the town, exacting retribution on those who dared to cross its path. As James delved deeper into the town's history, he uncovered a series of unsolved murders, each eerily connected to the Phantom Patrol Car. It became clear that the malevolent spirit was not content with simply haunting the living. It sought to draw them into a nightmarish world of vengeance and suffering. James found himself on a treacherous path to uncover the truth and put an end to the Phantom's reign of terror. But the price of confronting the supernatural would prove far greater than he could have ever anticipated. Haunted by the relentless specter, James enlisted the help of a local medium, a woman named Eliza, who had experience in dealing with restless spirits. Together, they embarked on a perilous journey into the heart of the supernatural, determined to confront the Phantom and put an end to its malevolent rampage. Their quest led them to an abandoned cemetery on the outskirts of town, a place shrouded in darkness and filled with the whispers of the dead. As they performed a ritual to summon the spirit, the air grew heavy with tension and the temperature plummeted. Suddenly, the Phantom patrol car materialized before them, its headlights blazing with an otherworldly fury. Eliza's voice trembled as she spoke to the spirit, beseeching it to find peace and release its hold on the living. The Phantom car revved its engine, emitting an ear-piercing shriek that sent shockwaves through the night. Just as it charged forward, James and Eliza's combined efforts unleashed a blinding burst of energy, banishing the spirit once and for all. Phantom patrol car dissolved into mist, leaving behind an eerie silence. James and Eliza knew that the town would finally find respite from the malevolent entity that had plagued it for so long, but the memory of their harrowing encounter would forever haunt their dreams. A cursed police station. Detective Mark had been assigned to reopen the old, dilapidated police station. Unaware of the horrors lurking within its walls, the station was a macabre relic, tainted by decades of corruption and brutality, exuding an aura of malevolence that was impossible to ignore. From the moment Mark crossed the threshold, he was enveloped in a suffocating dread. Unearthly whispers filled the empty corridors, and sinister shadows danced just beyond his line of sight. He glimpsed twisted figures that vanished as he turned to confront them. In his office, Mark stumbled upon ancient case files, each more horrifying than the last. Tales of vanishing individuals, unsolved murders, and officers driven to madness lay buried within the station's grim history. As he delved deeper into the past, Mark realized that it was not just the memories of corrupt officers that haunted the building. It was something far more sinister, an entity that hungered for his very soul. Nights in the station descended into madness, with Mark tormented by grotesque visions and relentless whispers in the darkness. He knew he had to uncover the truth about the station's curse, but the price he would pay was a terror beyond comprehension. Mark's relentless pursuit of the station's secrets led him to a horrifying revelation. A malevolent entity, bound to the building by a dark and unholy ritual. The only way to break the curse was to confront the entity head on, leading to a nightmarish battle that would push Mark to the brink of his sanity. In the heart of the station, Mark faced the entity, a grotesque, shadowy figure with eyes that seemed to devour his soul. Their confrontation unleashed a maelstrom of supernatural fury, as the very walls of the station seemed to close in around them. Mark fought with every ounce of strength, relying on his unwavering determination to banish the malevolent entity. As the battle raged on, the entity's form contorted and twisted, emitting blood-curdling screams that reverberated through the station. Mark's vision blurred, and his mind teetered on the precipice of madness. But he knew he could not falter. With one final, desperate surge of willpower, he unleashed a blinding burst of energy that tore the entity asunder, reducing reducing it to a wailing specter of despair. The cursed police station trembled as if relieved of a heavy burden, and the malevolent presence that had tormented Mark was vanquished. The building stood empty and silent, its dark history sealed away forever.